Hey guys. So let's have a discussion about parents of children with learning disabilities of any sort, whether it's speech delay, which is what my son was categorized for first, whether they fall somewhere on the spectrum, and the basic education system and how kind of parents fall into that. Because as a mother, and my son, when he was about 2.5 years old, started going to daycare. So I had no idea like what was going to happen when he started going to daycare. Our old neighbor was his babysitter, and suddenly he's put into a situation where he's in daycare. Now my daughter was fine. She transitioned. She's a year and a half older. My son went from being the hugger to being the biter. He threw chairs. He pushed people. He was like went from the lover to like the mean guy. I don't know what happened. It was his first scenario, like the first time he ever was in a situation where he was around a lot of other little kids in a school setting where he had to sit down and follow directions and that kind of thing. So it was probably that. So then you start getting, you reach out to child protective or child services, whatever, CPS, locally. And you start getting evaluations. The doctor recommends getting evaluations, all this stuff. And then you start getting into the education system. It's like a crazy whirlwind. I don't know if any of you have ever had to experience this, but it was like we know nothing at all. And there's a lot of requirements on children now going into pre-K, kindergarten, all of that stuff. So it used to be like, I remember going to kindergarten and you showed up and you hung out, you learned a couple letters from the alphabet, you took a nap, like you had a little blanket, you took a nap, you hung out some more, you had snacks, you ate, you hung out with your friends. Now, to get into kindergarten, you have to know the full alphabet. You have to at least be able to count to 10, I believe. And you have to sit and attend a little better. We used to just run around the classroom. They don't really do that anymore. I think they stopped taking naps when they are age 4. Naps are optional. They don't do the quiet like nap time anymore. That's a little bit crazy, but it's the education system we're in. And I've spoken to my kids' evaluator therapist about it, and unfortunately, it's what it is. But parents of these children who are now going into kindergarten have a lot to learn because we know zero. Like, I relied a lot on my son had to see it every day. And he had OT, which is occupational therapy. He didn't get PT, physical therapy, but he was pulled out for speech. So he got speech 3 days a week. So there's just a lot to learn. And I thought at first I really wanted to help the parents, but it's really like the kids at some point that I want to help, because helping the kids is helping the parents. So I don't know, I'm like kind of on this mission to help parents start to understand like the special education system, but also helping young kids kind of like find their way, because I think that's like a missing thing that once kids are little and they become teens and their brain is developing, and there's just a lot going on, especially now. There's a lot more societal pressures than there ever were. So let's say we were in school, there was a bully. So your bully was at school, you left, you went home, it's done for the day. Well, now there's online cyberbullying. Your kids' bullies can follow them anywhere, and everybody can see it. So it's a whole different game that like we don't even think about, because it's nothing we've ever had to deal with. So that's like one crazy thing. I don't think kids get enough sleep. As they get older, apparently teens need like 10 hours of sleep or something like that, like more than young kids. And I kind of want to, I've been talking to my daughter a lot. We made a Girl Scouts troop, and we do talk about like real life issues. And I feel like that's like a thing that needs to be done. I feel like we need to be able to sit down with young kids and talk about real life issues. I mean, I've had friends whose teenagers committed suicide, and that's listen, I know that like teen brain develops and there's a lot of things going on, but like there has to be a way to help, at least like a platform, like somewhere that these kids can talk. So, I don't know. I'm like studying up on, you know, brain development in children and stuff like that. And I think that parents really need to, one, understand that school isn't what it was when we were kids. Being a young child isn't what it was when we were children. Being a teenager definitely isn't what it was when we were children. Social media shows people this life that they think other people have. That life's probably fictional. Like most of it, you just see what they put on TV or on the internet. But like, kids don't understand that. Like, their brains are still developing. So we really have this like kind of gap that allows children to kind of fall through the cracks and feel like they're not worth it or they're not good people just because they're not meeting this like social media criteria that they see. But that criteria like isn't real. It's like made up, and people just throw it out into the universe to make people think that they're awesome. And they may or may not be awesome. They may be struggling inside too. You don't know. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on, but yeah, I'm gonna try to like gather more information from my daughter, from Girl Scout meetings, because they have like these real issues that are the world to them that we kind of dismiss because it's just, we know, we went through it, we were kids, like, but I feel like everybody's had that period where they thought about committing suicide. I mean, I did when I was younger, and not that people would have thought that of me, but like, it's tough. And now it's even tougher. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this right now, but it is something that needs to be addressed, and kids need to have a voice. And I kind of feel like that's why I was put here. I was put here to like prove, one, that young girls can do anything they want to do in this world. And I've thought that since I was very young. I feel like that's my path in life, to like set these crazy goals and go after them and achieve them and move on to the next. And I feel like I've done that over and over and over. And then when I became a mother, I kind of forgot about all that because, your children become your priority. But also, I want to be that example. I want to show my children that like all this stuff is still doable. And, whatever you're trying to do, reach for the stars, right? Like Les Brown, reach for the stars, right? So I don't know. I'm going to start posting more about discussions with my daughter and discussions with young girls and teens and issues that we really need to start looking at as parents and as adults, and hopefully as educators in the education system, because it's not just about book learning and smarts and everything like that. It's about real life learning, because that's what gets your kids through life. That's all. I'll leave it at that.